Hello to the web and therefore the deep web. Welcome to our sister podcast, the Blockdown Blockchain Podcast, charting the rise of blockchain technology in all aspects of our lives and how it does impact it from the perspective of the electronic influencer. BDB1 is the sister podcast of Starcast, the electronic influencer podcast, another ADDICTS production and digital inception. Ladies and gentlemen, we're building a pure signal here to end the infodemic. No fake news nor internet of beef will be allowed. My name is Hermann Djoumessi, founder of the ADDICTS Virtual Incubator, and my co-host is Dr. Wong Kim of the ESCE Paris Business School, the one and still the best blockchain master on the French hexagon. You do have something to say to that, Doctor?
Oh, no, we're excited to get started and to introduce our guest for today, which is Caroline WEND from MINTBASE.
All right, excellent. So listen, like, and share the Blockdown Blockchain Podcast, the #1 bilingual podcast somewhere on the internet and the dark web. And do not hesitate to comment and drop us a few lines whenever possible on SPREAKER, YouTube, DEEZER, Spotify, Podcast Addicts, PODCHASER, and all the good platform you do enjoy. All right. We have an exclusive piece of news at the end of this podcast, so please hang in there until the end. We actually have an incredible guest today that we'll introduce in a few minutes. Her name, she's coming all the way from, she's talking to us actually all the way from Berlin, and it's Caroline WEND. Hello, Caroline WEND. Welcome to BDB1. Can you please remind us who you are and what you do, please? Thank you, Caroline.
Thanks, Hermann. Thanks a lot. My name is Caroline WEND. I work at MINTBASE, and I'm calling in from Berlin.
Okay, so you work. Okay, so you're coming from Berlin, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. How is Berlin right now?
Very good. The pandemic is still hitting a little bit, so everything is a bit closed, but it's all good. Working from home and surviving.
And it's also a summer, and you also have great summers in Berlin.
Exactly.
All right. So ultimately, what does MINTBASE do? Can you just give us a quick overview of what the company is and what it does, please?
Sure. So MINTBASE, we are NFT minting platform. So what does that mean? What is an NFT? So first of all, an NFT is a non-fungible token, meaning it can be anything like a ticket, it can be a piece of photography, it can be music. And essentially, people come onto our platform and they deploy their own smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain, which is their own shop. And on that contract, on that shop, they can create those NFTs. Mm-hmm. And why is it so special? Because those NFTs are tokenized on the blockchain. So you can see how many exist. You can see when, for example, a ticket or a piece of photography got sold, got transferred to. And the awesome thing about this is that you can store it on any wallet of your choice. So that is a special and unique thing about NFTs, and MINTBASE is enabling this new virtual economy to flourish. So people, we have artists, we have musicians, we have conferences coming onto our platform using our system for various purposes.
All right. Okay. That's quite interesting. Actually, before we dig deeper into that, I'd like to clear with our viewers and listeners that as far as the NFTs or non-fungible tokens are concerned, non-fungible means exactly not interchangeable. All right. It is also known as the ERC 721 token. And the ERC 721 token allows to tokenize ownership of any data. And it is also a type of cryptographic token that represents a unique asset. And NFTs can even sometimes be a tokenized version of digital or real world assets like a house, a painting, or even music, as you just mentioned, Caroline. But for you, what is the definition of an NFTs as far as you're concerned? How would you frame it in your...
So at first, the first NFTs or how NFTs became more popular was 2014 with the movement of crypto kitties. Mm-hmm. So it was just like a little cat, like little kitties, and people were collecting it. And it was special because you could see that it was a scarce and an interoperable and a rare item. Mm-hmm. But now it's changing a little bit because an NFT should not just be something that sits in your wallet that you collect. For me, it's much more. So an NFT can be for example, like a thumbnail to a Netflix subscription, or you can bound more data to one single NFT.
All right.
For example, you can have an NFT, but the NFT can hold an audio file, a PDF. It can hold like a MP4 file as well. So we have more and more like artists, DJs coming onto our platform, so they can upload an image, but they can also pack a song to it, and then they can also, on top of that, add a PDF document that tells people how the song can be used. Can you use it for promotional purposes? Can you use it in movies? So it's really like so much more than just a collectible or just like one item, but it's basically the glue to many, many other things. I hope that was clear and not too complicated.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's the problem. It's very simple. Like you said, we can go as low as a PDF file or a song, right? Mm-hmm. Or as high as extremely smart contract with complex execution over decades.
Exactly. Yeah. And you may ask, why is that important? I mean, we have like Google, we have like, Airbnb, we have Eventbrite. We already have those solutions. Why is it important to store it on a blockchain? Well, nowadays you can see like so many things happening, like in America and in other countries. It's really like undemocratic. But when you tokenize things on a blockchain, like for example, an article, or you upload an image, it cannot be changed. It's like baked in the smart contract. It's immutable. You can see exactly when it was like, created, because we use another blockchain called the AWI for our NFT metadata. But it's super important, this transparency aspect. And also like you see exactly from where to where the item got moved and transferred to. There's no middleman in between. And that's like increasingly important in the times we are in at the moment.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take you on your word there. You mentioned transparency. And so if we talk about transparency, let's dig into the proof of concept, right? So transparency, how do you ensure transparency? Do you have is it a public chain, or how does that work?
Exactly. So we are on the public Ethereum mainnet. So okay. Ethereum is basically a blockchain where you can program like...
Just I don't want to interrupt you, but when you say the Ethereum mainnet, are we talking about Vitalik Ethereum or the other Ethereum or any of the... Because, there are several Ethereums now, and so we got to be careful.
Yeah,
there are several Bitcoins, so now, so you have to say which one it is.
Yeah, so it's the ESCE, so basically like it's the Ethereum blockchain, exactly. And there's also ETH, which is a currency, and both like concepts were founded by Vitalik.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, transparency. What is transparency? Well, let me give you a simple example. So someone comes onto MINTBASE, and in order to make transactions and create those non-fungible tokens, you need a blockchain wallet. And we allow different blockchain wallets, but they all need to be ESCE 721 compliant so that you can make transactions. So basically, a user comes onto our platform and clicks login, and then connect to MetaMask, Trust Wallet, or Coinbase Wallet, the wallet of their choice. Mm-hmm. He then can create a store. So, for example, let's say you are a music festival in France. What kind of music festivals do you have in France? A popular one.
A lot. Dr. Von Kim, that's a question for you. I don't know.
Solid days. Okay.
Solid days. All right. Solid days. There you go. Yeah. That's
Solid days. Okay. Yeah. So for example, you are the promoter of Solid days. Yeah. You come onto MINTBASE, you create a store and you call the store Solid days. So, okay. One, you have to confirm, you have to open up the store, and you have to pay Ethereum gas fees to the Ethereum blockchain. That means that every time you make a change in the blockchain, the block changes, right? You have to pay the blockchain to do the computing power, and that is the Ethereum gas fee. So the promoter would create a store, pay directly to the blockchain, and once he's done that, he can create non-fungible tokens as tickets, for example. Mm-hmm. So once he has done that, he mints a token and puts in metadata, like, for example, where is the event? Is it in Paris? Is it in Nice? Is it in Bordeaux? Maybe you want to add your website. You want to add other custom data. Maybe you even want to include a log file, meaning that only the person who owns the ticket can access another file. So it really depends on the promoter. So then once he put in all the custom metadata, he presses mint, creates the token, and now the transparency aspect comes in. So there's every store or every token has an Ethereum hash address, which is a number, super complicated number, 0x blah, blah, blah. And you click on it and then it redirects you to EtherScan. And that is basically the bookkeeping tool of the Ethereum blockchain. So you can see on this website any transaction.
EtherScan, right?
EtherScan, exactly. Okay. And that is where the transparency comes in, where you can see how many tickets exist, how many times have they been transferred. And that's the exciting part about it. And also, I don't want to get into too much detail, but every time you upload an image on this NFT, for the ticket, for example, it gets stored on another blockchain called the Arweave blockchain. And they basically are a blockchain which stores files for up to 200 years. So you can see exactly when was the image uploaded. You cannot change it afterwards. No one can change it. So it's backed on stone. Now it's done. It cannot be changed anymore. It's just the rule, because blockchain, there's so many different decentralized computers. You can just not falsify it. You cannot
Definitely not.
So that's really exciting, this thing. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's quite interesting. So we've been through the process of the person who was actually running a festival and would like to mint collectibles, right? That's one aspect of it. But what about
or tickets or ticketing itself? So the ticket itself.
The ticket itself is also a collectible. Maybe it also has a song. The ticket, it's much more. It basically looks like a ticket, but when we have a ticket from Eventbrite, you only have this QR code. But with a blockchain ticket, you have for example, a GIF image, a moving image, and then you can also play a song. So it's not a ticket. It's so much more.
Oh, right. Okay. It's just so much more than just a ticket. Okay.
Yeah. And so if you imagine some people, they collect tickets, they show it off. I've been to this festival. Yeah. And now it could actually be more than just a ticket. It could be something with rich media. But what's important is that you don't have a middleman here. So you don't have to pay these fees to ticketing companies. You can just mint them on MINTBASE, which is, one might say, how does it compare, by the way, to if I was a festival, going with the MINTBASE versus going with a ticketing company?
Oh, that's a good example. So basically, the core is that there has been no innovation in the ticketing industry. It's always a good old same process. I buy a ticket with Eventbrite or Ticketmaster, and I either have to have an app, I have to download the app, or they send me the email with a QR code. So I go to the event, I show them my ticket, they scan the QR code, then I go in the event, it's done. So basically, it's just that, you know, and with like NFT ticketing, like what we do, it's much more than that. First of all, like the user does not need to use a specific app. Like they don't need to download anything. They can choose, hey, do I want to use a Coinbase wallet or Argent wallet, or maybe the user is a programmer and just wants to program his own wallet. That doesn't matter. It needs to be ESCE 721 compliant. So he can store this ticket on his wallet. So he can like show his friends. He can go there and say like, hey, look, I have this ticket, and it's like a moving image. And the ticket also, like when you click on it, plays a song or something like that. So that is like the first thing that divides us from like ticketing companies. But it also comes down to like the access control. So when you like go to the event and you check in, so we also have a redeeming tool, which basically sucks out the NFT of your wallet and puts it on our screen. We press redeem, and then you can redeem the ticket, and you do a Face ID. So it's more secure than just scanning a QR code, because you have to like show your face and check in. And that's another difference. But also, it stays on your wallet, right? You can like in 10 years from now, you can show your friends, hey, I've been to this awesome conference or this awesome festival in France. And maybe like the value of this ticket, of this NFT, like rises, and you can sell it on different exchanges. Maybe some people, they want to own this ticket, this token. So there's so many things. Or maybe you have a partnership, like you're a gaming company, or maybe you are like you want to partner with like the master blockchain course at your university. So once you have this token and you show it to Hermann, you show it, and then you get 5% discount of I don't know, coffee at university or something like that. It really like because we live in a world where we have siloed APIs right now. Eventbrite, Ticketmaster, they have their own like, you know, siloed APIs. You know, the API nowadays is the NFT. It's the token you own. Anyone can interact with that. And that's super exciting. And it's really like, there's so many, our whole virtual economy is basically gonna be tokenized in the next few years. It's like the new internet.
Yeah, so one of the big applications of NFTs right now is in art, digital art, making digital art original. And so that you can actually buy an original of a digital art piece. So this is why it's so exciting. And so you have these whole virtual art exhibitions, and where you can buy actual virtual art, and they're a part of either a series, but it's an original art piece that you actually own. So I think that's very exciting. But the one business I was talking with Caroline about was a secondary art market. So for example, in a startup project that I have called Art Genies, what it is that people scan real live exhibitions and real live artworks. But many times we can't afford the real live artwork, nor do we have space to store it. So for example, I can't spend, I might love this artist, but I cannot spend 10,000 euros on an art piece. So what I could do is I can buy an NFT souvenir just as a donation in the beginning. Donate to this artist, and I want to support him, right? And so I buy maybe a 10 euro for that exhibition. I'll just get 10 euros and I'll get a little NFT back. But that NFT can actually be the collectible itself, and eventually those donations itself could be a secondary art market where they can actually sell those at higher prices. And so this is, I think, what's so exciting. In the beginning, there is no market for it, and people will do it because because people want to support artists. But later on, they'll discover that it becomes a collectible, and kind of like collecting pins, today we have to do it virtually because, it's really no one, I don't see anyone today. If I would be caught dead trying to bring in a whole stack of pins to collect and trade, right? But I think the future is trading NFT tokens with one another virtually.
Definitely. Yeah, and you are creating a new market with your Art Genies as well, because it doesn't exist in that form yet, and there's a demand for it because you want a piece of the artist. Like, it doesn't exist. When I go to a museum and I see an incredible artist, I don't know, what can I take? nothing. It's just, I see it, it's on my mind, but what if I can have a nice collectible? I take it home, and, it really like also defines your personality, because I am what I read, what I see, it's like my personality. I want to show my friends like what I'm about. So
I think the biggest, the way we see it is the biggest analogy is that when people go to an art exhibition, they can't buy the art, but they'll buy the brochure, or they'll buy the brochure to help support the artist. In this case, it's instead of having a physical brochure, they can actually buy the original, and it can't be copied. So it's something that we know that it's original.
And also, like nowadays, no one is like really, buying brochures anymore. I mean, we're traveling a lot. We are going from A to B, so you have your brochure in your phone. Yeah,
exactly. And so that you can actually have that brochure as an NFT, and that itself could be, because it's time-stamped, it could be a collectible that you will trade on the secondary market. And so therefore, for a lot of these famous art pieces, we cannot afford the original, but we can afford a secondary original. And that's where I think is very exciting,
Definitely. That's really interesting, because you've talked about a lot of things. And there was CryptoKitties, of course, which is the birth of the collectible movement. And then, as you said, people will be collecting all sort of digital art form in the future, because if they can't collect cats, they will definitely start collecting more complex objects in the future. We all know that social media always start with cats, and then it always gets more complex. Ultimately, you learn about the end of democracy at the end of the arc, right? It starts with cats. And then at the end, democracy is actually, losing
and pornography, cats and pornography.
Exactly.
And pornography, exactly. Cat and pornography. And then after that, it gets more complex. Always start with cats and pornography. So I guess we're getting into complex digital ecosystem here. All ecosystem, we need the fluid, that will link it all. The fluids, what I mean by that is the energy, right? The gas, which refers to the fee, the energy or pricing value required to successfully conduct a transaction or execute a contract on the Ethereum blockchain platform. So on your platform, what is the actual gas? What's the price? I mean, how much will I pay to get my little music, or how much would I pay to get my little festival onto your platform? What sort of price range are you talking about?
Very good question. So right now, the Ethereum gas fee is very high because of various reasons, like the network is clogged at the moment. So right now, like creating a contract can be anywhere from $20 to $60 dollars, and that is paid directly to the Ethereum blockchain. Like we don't get anything off that. We just earn, like MINTBASE only takes a percentage if you sell something. So it really depends. 2 months ago, the Ethereum gas fee, so you can always check how high it is on ethgasstation.info. And there you can always check if it's like somewhere between, 40 and 60, it's really high, the gas fee. But usually like between 5 and 10 is a good time to create NFTs and smart contracts. So 2 months ago, it was about $2 to $5 to create your store, and minting tokens was like a few cents, like really cheap. Yeah.
Okay. So $60 for the actual contract, and then the minting, which is around what,
couple of dollars.
$1, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So the entire onboarding will be around what, $100, let's say?
I mean, at the moment, but that's not normal what's happening right now. So usually it was about $5 to $10.
Right. Okay. What happened?
It's completely clogged, the network. There are like several, if you go on Ethereum gas station, you see like who is like blocking everything. So there are like some Ponzi schemes, flooding the networks. There are several reasons, but eventually ETH 2.0 is coming out soon, so that this is not happening anymore. But there are also different blockchains, basically where you can make transactions in a cheaper way. And I think the future is maybe not always Ethereum. Maybe there are different blockchains where those NFTs will be minted and distributed. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What other blockchains are you looking at right now?
So there are different blockchains like Cosmos, Polkadot, and Near blockchain. Those look very promising. Near, it's NEAR. Near. They are backed by big investors like Coinbase Ventures.
Wait, are you talking about Neo? Neo?
No, it's NEAR, like Near. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so there are some other solutions coming on board now. There's also another blockchain called Elrond, but I haven't played around with it yet. Exactly. So let's see. But I think eventually it might not always be Ethereum. Like this at the moment shows that it's just not so nice when the network is clogged. And let's see what's coming out.
All right, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
How does MINTBASE? How do you guys? What is your revenue model? How do you guys make money?
Yeah. So right now we take 2% of every item sold, only when an item is sold, and this is specifically designed to get people comfortable with like creating NFTs. Like, what is an NFT? What can I do with it? So this is basically just to get new users. But eventually we will probably move to like a subscription-based model where you can pay $10 a month and you get X, Y, and Z and those kind of features.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically that's our business model right now.
So it's not that bad. So if I have a 10-euro ticket, pretty much it costs me 20 cents, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very affordable.
I would
say that again. For a 10-euro ticket, it costs you what?
20 cents.
What do you say?
To MINTBASE, and then there is the Ethereum gas fees on top of that.
Yeah.
Which is
so it could be. So it could cost me. So it could, if it depends on what the gas fees are, it could cost me like 50 cents to mint the ticket, probably, right?
Yeah, exactly. But for anyone who's like new to the space, I would really recommend anyone to go on a testnet, which is called rinkeby.mintbase.io. And there you can test, play around, like how it all works. So basically it's like Ethereum mainnet. It copies the Ethereum mainnet, but it's Rinkeby testnet. And you have to get like even fake ETH to make the transactions. So reach out to me if you want some fake ETH.
That's quite interesting. I mean, I'm on a website right now, and I'm looking at the Virtual Economy Starter Pack, NFT Factory. You have exactly 757 stores. Yeah. So it's the stores that really, this is your core kind of business model there. It's people have to create stores. What do you mean by that?
A store is basically your shop. So you can have more stores than one. Basically, for example, maybe you want to sell tickets. On the other contract, you want to sell music. So this is basically, I think it's a high number, 757 individual stores. So as you can see on our main page, on the left, there's like this moving little hand. And then like if you click on it, you can see it's like a song. So basically you can like play the song, you can download it. But we also have like San Francisco Blockchain Week tickets, where when you click on it, on San Francisco Blockchain Week ticket, we have two options. You can either buy the ticket with ETH, or you can buy it with a credit or debit card. So we also have like a credit card integration just to make it easy for people to understand, like, okay, what is, like, how can I buy NFTs and stuff?
Oh, they can still use fiat currency.
Yeah. All right. And you really see the difference. Like, it's crazy. Like if someone sells, when someone sells something, and the buyer purchases it with ETH, like he gets the item immediately transferred, right? And the seller gets the money immediately. But for Stripe, it takes 7 days until the person gets the money. So it's really like also a mind shift, like immediate transactions. That's crazy in today's world, in the banking world.
Of course, you have immediate transactions. That's fantastic. But let's face it, elephant in the Zoom. And what is that elephant? It's, you just mentioned it. It's Ethereum 2.0. When is it going to come out? What do you expect from it? What is the word on the streets or in the space, in the industry? What are you guys thinking about it? What are you planning to do around it? How is it going to change? How is it going to affect your process?
So I have heard many voices that said that the near blockchain,
exactly.
That the near blockchain is basically like what ETH 2.0 is trying to become. So basically it's gonna be a mess. It's gonna be difficult to integrate. I think, but I'm not sure. I mean, it just launches testnet, I think this week or next week. So, I don't know. We need to play around with it. Maybe I'm wrong.
Testnet.
Mm-hmm. Testnet. So we don't actually know when the main, Ethereum 2.0 is launching. It has been delayed several times. And for that reason, I think it's good to look at other blockchains as well and be agnostic towards other solutions and, just try it out, Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then, so that's the spirit. You will definitely explore other blockchains, and you guys have started talking about it. Which one can you repeat those other blockchain you might be considering?
Yeah.
Eventually?
So there's a blockchain called Elrond. There's a blockchain called Cosmos, Polkadot, and Near. So those blockchains look interesting as well.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Polkadot, the EOS. Okay, that's quite interesting. So you have a plan B. That's good. Okay, that's your.
Just for understand, Cosmos and Polkadot, I know that they are for interoperability. Do they mint actually the same ERC 721 ticket? The 721 token.
So the NFT will be like a same smart contract, like a whole base. I'm not sure if it's called ESCE 721. I think it will have a different name, but the functionalities will be the same.
Okay, so is it interoperable with the Ethereum?
Probably not, but there will be like other solutions coming out. There are bridges. Like I'm not a developer. I would need to ask Nate, but there are bridges to the Ethereum network. But it really depends on the blockchain. But apparently, like those bridges from those blockchains I just mentioned.
Yeah, because that would be promising, because that means you could use your NFT tokens that were minted on Ethereum, and you can you can use it so it wouldn't be much of a difference to the end user. That sounds.
What about Bitcoin? Talking about Ethereum, what about Bitcoin? Because now you can wrap Ethereum around Bitcoin, all that, and is it something that you'll be looking at? I don't know.
Bitcoin is great for payment, I think. Yeah, Bitcoin, I mean, it's awesome what Bitcoin has achieved. Like everyone knows it, and it's a great tool or a great payment mechanism, but there's no smart contract logic. Like I hardly know any projects that are being built on Bitcoin. And eventually it's like always where the developers are, and most developers are building on Ethereum. And the smart contract logic, it's basically what makes Ethereum special. Like you can send $1,000 to your grandma in South Africa, and then she can take the money. But with Ethereum, you can put logic to it. You can say, okay, I'm sending 1,000 euros to my grandma in South Africa, but she's only allowed to pull out 100 euros every Sunday at 5:00. And that's the special thing about the Ethereum blockchain. You put logic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that's what people really have to understand. That's the core difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And going back to the actual white paper, the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper, I'm just going to quote it right now. A purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash would allow online payment to be sent directly from one person to another without going through a single financial institution. Those were the 4 words of the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper. When did you ever read that white paper, and what did you think of it yourself? I mean, did you ever read it, or how did you get into the whole space yourself?
So myself, I actually never read his white paper, no, but I got into it because I used to work in ticketing here in Berlin, and I had many clients, like festival clients, and one festival called Wilde Möhre. It's like very hippie-oriented festival. And I talked to the promoter, and we were just chatting. And he told me, like, if you want to invest in something, then in Ethereum, it's like blockchain is like, will replace all the banks and all the ticketing companies. And it's really good to get into that. So I got really curious. And then I started reading a little bit about it. And then in 2018, I got a job in German Parliament. And then I suddenly became like a researcher for blockchain technology. So I read more, I wrote speeches and papers. And then I met Nate, who's the developer of MINTBASE and the founder, and then transitioned to MINTBASE. So that's how I got into it. And eventually the core is like fairness and transparency and making the world a better place. That's like why everyone, I think, in the space loves blockchain technology.
So I just want to add for MINTBASE that it's more usage than just ticketing. I was talking to Caroline about online learning and how for example, you can get certificates immediately for a course, and it could all be wrapped around the fact that you have this NFT token that you paid for that represents the fact that you actually accomplished a certain class, and you'll have a collection, and it's easily shareable, where all you have to do is show a QR code to people and put it on your resume that you have a collection. And you can even just need one QR code so people can see all your collection of courses that you've done. And so these are this is, I think, some of the advantages with NFTs in the future, but not excluding the whole payment part. We don't have to go through an intermediary. We can just go and use NFTs for payment using MINTBASE.
Definitely. I do remember all the politicians in the early 2000s, that it got detected that they just falsified their master and their doctorate thesis and stuff and research papers. So, when you have an NFT, it cannot really be falsified because you can track it. Maybe is it a verified Dr. Von Kim who really issued this, and there are different mechanisms, but it's really more safe to issue NFTs for certificates as well.
Yeah,
fantastic. Caroline, how are we doing with time?
I think I have to jump on another call in a minute.
All right. So we're just gonna wrap it up then. In that case, but before wrapping it up, I think Dr. Won Kim kind of hinted at it quite clearly a few minutes ago. What I'm looking for is definitely for. It would be interesting to see if we could, start some sort of a project with you guys. I mean, it's exactly around what Dr. Won Kim has just mentioned. It could be around certification. It could be around, some sort of educational project where we'll get people to design a token, build a token that they would actually put out in the real world, and go through all the steps, creating the shops, putting up your product onto the shop, and then whatever it is or whatever collectible you want to sell, whether it's art or whatever. And then, go through the whole process and do the whole project with you. And of course, we'll use the podcast to have the people involved in the project to come and discuss the project, of course, explain the project, explain the problem they've been through, explain the breakthrough they've been through, and, and exchange with the rest of the world. What is it actually to use an ERC 721 token for anything? I think that project needs to see the light of day, so that we can talk to people about it, so that people can have a point of reference. And the podcast also will allow people to listen to it in their own leisure. They will see our problem. You see what I mean? We could definitely have an interesting project there that will impact people and will show to people how to deal with that technology, that new technology. It's a new paradigm, like you said yourself, right? So what do you think?
Definitely. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, then. All right. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll submit you some sort of proposal soon, and so people, the listener of this podcast should definitely look forward to that project. Thank you very much again, Caroline. You've been a great support. But before we finish and wrap it up, I'm just going to have this little There we go. And now, one last question, just to finish. What about scale up? Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years time? If you have any message for the younger generation, whatever, if you go for it. If you have a
Definitely.
Caroline?
So in 5 to 10 years, I think like everyone will just tokenize their assets, tickets. We will be seeing people selling houses. And it's basically the new internet that is just being reborn, which is better, safer, more transparent. So it will become normal. And try it out. Go onto mintbase.io, test it, and reach out to me anytime. On Twitter, it's MINTBASE. We are on Instagram, MINTBASE. We are on Telegram as well. So reach out anytime, and I'm happy to help and happy to introduce you to this brand new world.
Yeah, the 21st century Picasso, the 21st century Beyonce should be on MINTBASE. That's fantastic. All right. Where can people find you and MINTBASE, please?
Just
where
on Twitter.
Find you?
I think Twitter is easy. Also on LinkedIn, MINTBASE, or my name is Caroline WEND. So Caroline without an E at the end, and WEND, WEND, or Nate Geyer. So we are super easy to find on the social networks.
MINTBASE, MINTBASE. All right. So that's how you find it. It's very easy. And you, Dr. Won Kim, where can people find you?
Yes, please look us up, master, M with an E in front, like master, .ESCE.fr. So master.ESCE.fr. And we are the only accredited full master's program for the blockchain.
Ooh.
Fantastic. And my name is Hermann Djoumessi. I am the co-host of this amazing collab with the good Dr. Won Kim, whilst today's guest was once again Caroline WEND, all the way from Berlin. Auf Wiedersehen, Caroline.
Merci beaucoup.
And Dankeschön. All right. You can find me, Hermann Djoumessi, and the ADMP Community Multiverse on Twitter and Instagram at Team ADMP on Facebook, the Facebook group #ADMP, or www.admpawards.biz, where we do have 17,000 readers a month. Our email address, of course, is teamadmp@gmail.com, teamadmp@gmail.com. Before we love and leave, we want to give a few shout outs to our lovable community members, of course. Afri-Visage, Wax Elegance doing its bit for the community, to the Emperor's Corps, Miracle, the YouTuber where everything happens, Tech Love Fashion on Instagram, YB Paris on Instagram, to Aliyah Manuba Technology Park in Tunisia, Songo Money, who is helping transferring money safely, Wakaram, the African LinkedIn Network, AAVE, of course, which has been able to multiply, right? Remember that AAVE, which was one of our guests on this very podcast, has been able to increase its market cap from $29 million to $400 million during this COVID crisis. I'm not going to say that it's after being on our podcast. I'm not going to say it's correlated, but all I'm saying is we tend to pinpoint and pick the right startup where I would say investors would be interested in investing in. Of course, this podcast does not provide any financial advice. Of course, we just happens to have done our thorough research. Right. So, and any of you wishing to be shouted out, please get in touch at teamadmp@gmail.com with the title #shoutoutBDB. Rest assured, ladies and gentlemen of the new podcasting order, this was once again the Blocked Down Blockchain Podcast, digital inception and production by ADMP Virtual Incubator. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Believe me when I say it.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Caroline.
Okay, I have to go.
You've been a good sport, and definitely we will get back to you, the project. I think it will be really exciting to do that and to have that, to narrate the whole project by the podcast will also give people a different insight, because we're really about, Dr. and me actually, we're really about vulgarization, adoption, and high adoption of new technology. And for that, we need to use all sort of means and all sort of means of communication to do that, right? So yes, there is still the old school education system. It's fine, it's there. But also podcasts, also video, also YouTube, also TikTok, also whatever people are into. We are willing to go into whatever they are into. So that's what we're going to try to do, the podcast now. And soon we will definitely find any other avenues to reach people. That's really our motivation there.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you so much. I think there are many synergies, and I will send you a follow-up as well with a Winkeby where you can try it out a little bit without spending any money. And thank you for this great podcast. I love the little sounds and how you did it. It was really, really good.
All right, fantastic. All right, thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.